5:18, and once again, we're waking up to those cool, comfortable fall-like temperatures, but by the afternoon, we warm up into the 80s once again. So very similar to what we've had all week long, except there will be a slim chance of a shower today. The warming trend still on the way. 90s return this weekend into next week, and rain chances overall are going to be low, despite, the chance of a stray shower a little bit later today. I'll get to that shortly, but here's a look at your current temperatures. 64 in Chattanooga, 49 in Murphy. That's about, a 15-degree temperature difference. So much cooler temperatures the further east you go this morning. And I think this is either the third or fourth morning where Murphy's been down into the 40s, 62 in Lafayette, 61 in Dayton. Humidity just a little bit higher today. So you'll probably notice that difference, especially when you compare it with the last several days. High temperatures generally going to be in, I would say, the mid 80s here in the valley from Athens down to Dalton, maybe some upper 80s here and there across North Georgia. That allergy count not going anywhere. We've been talking about that ragweed, and it's still going to be problematic as we move into the weekend. So if you have plans, to be outdoors, just keep in mind you are going to be dealing with some of those sniffling, especially if you got some issues with that ragweed like I do. Here's a look at the temperature trend. Warmer than normal temperatures return as we head into next week. It looks like high pressure and some pretty good ridging is going to build into our west. And typically when that happens, we get warmer than normal temperatures this time of the year. So we're looking at 90s making a return, likely on Sunday into early next week. In fact, Monday, look at that, 92 degrees. Also going to see the humidity going up just a little bit. So like I mentioned earlier, we do have a slim chance of a passing shower. We're seeing a couple of those moving in along I-40 just to our north. So some areas north and east of Chattanooga, I'm talking Ray, Meigs, McMinn County, could see a few sprinkles this morning. It's not going to be a big deal, but it's certainly a possibility. Futurecasts throughout the day showing more cloud cover than we've had recently. And you can notice a couple of those green dots here and there. So there's a stray shower chance here and there throughout the afternoon. Most of you stay dry, to be honest with you. There's still a lot of dry air overhead, but any rain that does fall is going to be on the lighter side, so really no issue. And then tomorrow we clear back out. So again, rainfall over the next 7 days. These blue areas, maybe a trace, a couple hundredths of an inch, not even really enough to wet the ground in most areas. So more than likely, you're just not going to see too much in the way of rain over the next 7 days. Now, talking about the tropics, because yesterday was the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season, we now have an area of interest coming off the coast of Africa. 20% chance of development over the next 7 days or so. Far away from land. No major impacts expected, at least in the short term, but we'll keep a close eye on things as we move forward. And like I said, yesterday was the peak of the hurricane season here in the Atlantic Basin. That runs all the way through November 30th, but now we start to see activity historically come down. Not to say we can't have hurricanes and tropical storms well into November, but typically we start to see that activity waning down. So we'll keep a close eye on things, and of course, as anything changes, we will let you know. Here's the 7-day forecast. Still a lot of sunshine icons up there. 87 tomorrow. Great weather for Friday night football because we will drop into the 70s by the time the sun goes down. And then moving into the weekend, of course, it's going to be about the heat building. We're going to rise into the 90s. And next week, we're going to keep that trend going. But really, no active weather. It's going to be pretty calm through at least the middle of the month.
And we're still pretty far out from the first frost.
Yeah, usually I think the average first frost, at least in Chattanooga, is right around Halloween. Okay. Higher elevations like mid-October or so. So yeah, we still got about a month or so.
So plants are they're good outside.
For now, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Clay.